We're here at one of the newest restaurants in Northwest Ohio and already becoming a favorite at Levis Commons in Perrysburg. It's Benchmark Restaurant, here with owner and head chef Jeff Dinnebeil. You guys are really doing some good stuff here. Tell me a little bit about Benchmark Restaurant.
So Benchmark Restaurant is a fine dining steak and seafood restaurant. We came to the area and really wanted to fill a void that we thought was kind of missing from the Perrysburg community. And the community has really embraced us and things have been going great.
You mentioned steak and seafood. We're going to get a little bit of both. Tell me about what we're making here today.
We're going to be doing a pan-seared prime filet. I'll be searing it in cast iron and then basting it with butter, herbs, garlic, and lemon. And then we'll also be making a seafood risotto, so seared sea scallops with a bouillabaisse sauce, Parmesan and thyme risotto, and finished off with just a little bit of butter. So we're going to start with the scallops. And so the most important thing with scallops is making sure that they're nice and dry and season them with just a little salt and pepper. So we got a little clarified butter here that we're going to be starting in the pan with.
Jeff, how long you been a chef?
I started washing dishes when I was 13 at Sabas Chop House in Sylvania, and this is pretty much all I've ever done. We went from restaurants all around Ohio, or Toledo to Chicago, my wife and I. We moved out there, and then when we were going to have our first kid, we decided to come back home to Toledo. So we're going to start with a little bit of risotto here. So we just added our arborio rice and a little bit of chicken stock just to get everything moving. Now we're going to add a little bit of cream to it. And just let that keep on cooking.
Is this one of the favorite items here at Benchmark?
I'm actually making this dish because this was the first meal that my wife and I were able to enjoy in our first restaurant that we owned by ourselves sitting down. I had the scallops and she had a pan-seared filet, and the restaurant was humming all around us, and it was a pretty special night for us, and I figured with highlighting date night, it might be a good thing to do here as well.
Well, I'm honored that you sort of let us in on that very personal memory, and I can't wait.
All right, so now that we have a nice hard sear on our scallops, we'll go ahead and flip those over. We're gonna add some vegetables to our risotto. We have some butter poached asparagus and some cherry tomatoes.
Ooh.
Keep things moving on there, and then we're gonna start to baste our scallops with butter. And then as they cook, we're just gonna spoon the butter over to keep that sear going and just lock a little bit more flavor.
A lot of flavor in there.
So in the back pan, we just added a little bit of bouillabaisse sauce, and then we're gonna finish that with just a little bit of butter. So our sauce is ready, our risotto's ready.
And so much is in the presentation too, isn't it?
Absolutely, you gotta eat with your eyes first.
That's right.
And then we'll do a nice little dollop of risotto, trying to get as much height out of it as we can. Then we're going to go ahead and finish it off with our sea scallops. Cooked to a nice medium rare. And that is the sea scallop risotto here at Benchmark.
That looks fantastic.
Cooking a steak in a pan, you want to use as hot of a possible pan. The cut of meat that we have here is a prime Snake River Farms filet. Well marbled, just very tender. We have a little bit of fresh rosemary, a fresh thyme, some lemon zest, some shallots, and some garlic. And then just as we did with the scallops, we're going to be basting the steak so that that butter is going down through the herbs and picking up the flavor and bringing it into the steak. So we will take our herbs off. We have our nice hard sear on our plate. And we have our pan-seared filet here at the Benchmark.
Well, I want to try these out.
Sounds good.
Why don't we head to the dining room and we'll get to meet your wife as well.
Great.
We're now in the wonderful dining room here at Benchmark, and joining Chef Jeff and I is his wife, Megan. I'm gonna mess up. What is it?
Lingsweiler.
Lingsweiler. Thank you for joining us. I wanted to talk to both of you because I think this is a unique aspect, a husband and wife team owning this restaurant. Megan, tell me a little bit about the restaurant and sort of what it's like working with your husband.
So Jeff and I actually worked together, 10, 11 years ago. We actually opened up Biaggi's as a server and a backhouse employee, and so back then a little tumultuous, but now I think we've kind of grown up a little bit, and it's absolutely amazing.
And both of you are running the show now. I mean, you get to decide everything, including the name. Why Benchmark Restaurant?
It's an old surveyor's term that's really setting the point of everything else to be measured against. Which, honestly, if you think about it, for a restaurant to do is a really bold and ballsy statement. But we really wanted to keep ourselves honest. We're setting the point of what we want other people to be measured against. Sometimes we'll hit the mark, sometimes we'll miss it, but we'll always be striving. We incorporated that name into the logo and followed it with mimicking ticks of a ruler for our logo because we wanted that unit of measure to be always present in it. It's kind of fun thing for the staff to see people recognize.
Megan, on a given night, we got Jeff's in the kitchen. What are you doing? Are you running around just sort of keeping all the chaos in order?
If it's during service, I am with Jeff on the line assisting in running food or talking to guests, just having a bigger picture in mind. And then the day-to-day, I do everything from our marketing perspective, and sometimes you'll see me behind the bar.
That's amazing. And that's one of those things where, it's a husband and wife team. That's the person you trust the most. This is delicious, by the way.
Absolutely. Like we said back in the kitchen, so that is a Snake River Farms prime filet. Couldn't be happier with the meat that we serve here at Benchmark.
Phenomenal. Jeff, thank you very much.
Thank you very
Food's
much.
Wonderful. Megan, thank you for welcoming
My
us in.
pleasure.
Benchmark Restaurant at Levitt's Commons. Check them out next time you're going out for a date or taking the kids out or just want a delicious meal. It's fantastic.